Welcome back, Motorheads. This is Hot Rod Finds on Facebook Marketplace. First got a 1949 Ford for $19,900. Now we definitely got us a pretty slick little custom here. I like a lot of the things they done with this 49 Ford. I'm actually digging the chop on this here and loving what they did with the nose of this car. I like the French Den lights. I think they did a lot of pretty cool custom work on here, and it actually doesn't look bad considering that's a black car. It definitely appears that somebody took the time to actually get that body pretty dang straight. That's at least how it looks from the pictures anyway. But like I said, overall, it does look like a pretty cool car. I like a lot of the things they did. The interior, even though I'm not a big fan of a big bunch of solid red, but I do think they did a pretty decent job in here. And I know it's going to upset some of you Ford folks out there if they used the Chevrolet dashboard in this one here. But you got to admit, it does look good. It actually looks like it belongs in there. But what do you guys think of this old 49? What do you think of that price tag? Leave it down in the comments. Next got a 1930 steel body Ford here for $35,000. Now that's very cool. This is actually a steel body Ford. Now I know this is not the same year as Milner's, but ever since I saw American Graffiti, I've been kind of hooked on them little 5-window coupes. And one of these days I'm going to obtain one. Now looking at the pictures, the car actually looks to be very good condition. It looks pretty dang solid. And it definitely appears to be mildly straight. So I think somebody did a pretty decent job on the body on this one too. But what do you guys think of the little 30? Leave it in the comments. Next got a 1934 Ford for $38,000. We got us another great looking old hot rod here. Kind of digging the paint job they put on this one here. One thing I'm not digging about this one is that $38,000 price tag. I think he might be reaching on $38,000 on this. But that could just be from the limited information and the limited pictures on this one here. But I still thought it was worth an honorable mention. What do y'all think of the 34? Next got a 1952 Chevrolet for $22,000. Now, even though I really like these old Chevrolets, and I don't mind the colors they used on this, I like what they did with the roof, the lacing, but the flame job they done on this car does not work, and those wheels do not work with this car. Not for no damn $22,000, it doesn't. That's my personal opinion. I think if you could get this down to a real price, like somewhere around 10 to 12, this might be worth somebody picking up and making themselves a pretty nice little cruiser. But you got to do something about that flame job on the front there. That big, looked like water bubble, whatever the hell they were going for there. It's not working. You need to go back and learn how to do flames. That's all I'm going to say here. The flames suck. But what's your all's thoughts on this little 52? Leave it in the comments. Next got a 1941 Chevrolet for $39,000. Now we definitely got us a cool 41 Chevrolet here. Not really digging that color too much, that's just my personal choice here, but it does not look bad in that color. Now judging from the pictures, the car appears to be very well done and very well put together. I like how they did the custom tilt nose hood. Even though that's kind of overdone, people have done this so much back in the 90s, kind of glad it kind of went away. But it is nice to see a good representation of one that looks like it's been done correctly. Now, overall, I think this is a great car, and it makes somebody with deep pockets very happy. I think $39,000 might be just a little bit on the high side, but that's my personal feelings. What's your all's thoughts on this little 41 Chevrolet? Next got 1940 Ford for $26,351. Now, as most of you guys know, I absolutely think the 1940 Ford was one of the best looking Fords ever produced. I just love the lines on these cars. I love the paint job on this car. Very traditional, old school hot rod flames on this. It just really suits this car. And judging from the pictures of this car, it appears to be in fairly solid condition. And I don't think what they're asking, $26,000, that's not too terrible of a place to start negotiating on this whole vehicle. I've actually seen a lot of these old 40s in way worse condition, with people asking way more money. Now, I'm not saying either one of them's right on the price, but overall, I think I would pay closer to 26 for this one here than what it looks like Swiss cheese. Next got 1937 Chevrolet for $34,000. got us a great looking old 37 Chevrolet here. Now, even though I'm not a big fan of red, the car doesn't look bad. Now, most of you guys been watching for no, I just absolutely despise red. I think red's done way too much. Everybody thinks, I got a hot rod, I must paint it red or I must paint it black. There's not any other colors out there that we can put on a car. Okay, rant over on the paint job. Now, the car is showing to be in pretty decent condition, at least from the pictures anyhow. Now, that trailer also comes with that car for that price, so you can allow a little bit more money for the price. But I really wish they would include some pictures of the trailer. But what do you guys think of the old Chevrolet here? Leave it in the comments. Next got 1951 Ford for $30,000. Now we got a pretty nice old 51 Ford here, but I think this person might be just a little bit proud or maybe just a little bit too attached to their hot rod here. Does it have a pretty cool paint job on it? Yes, it does. Do I like that style of flames? Absolutely. But $30,000, I've seen these cars way cleaner go for a lot less than what he's asking for this one here. Now, it's still a nice car. If you're willing to pay that for it, that's all completely up to you. It's your pocket. Me personally, I'm just saying there's better deals out there. Look around for one. But overall, still a pretty nice car. Next got 1934 Ford for $38,000. Now this is definitely a cool little 34, but it's not $38,000 kind of cool in my personal opinion. If you know, you know. Make sure you read that description, then you'll be in the understanding of why I'm saying that. Now overall, I don't think this car is in bad condition. I think this person got way deep when they had this car built, or they built it themselves, and they're trying to get as much of their money back, which you can't blame them. But I think you could get a lot better deal on this particular car. Even with that being said, I still think this would make somebody a pretty cool hot rod, but just not at that price. Next got 1947 Nash for $25,000. Now this here is definitely very, very cool. You don't come across the old Nash coupes very often at all. Matter of fact, I think this is the first one I've seen in quite a few years. This one here, I dig it. I'm not necessarily on board with their paint scheme. Personally, I would change the paint on this car here. I don't think what they're asking at $25,000 is too bad of a starting point to try to get a good negotiation out of that car. But even at $25,000, it's kind of hard to pass being in this condition because you just don't come across an old Nash coupe very often. Well, that's all I got for you today. If you liked today's video, make sure you smash that like button. Even consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next one.